All right, guys, I think we're actually live right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know why my phone's not connecting, so I can't use a camera. Let's try to get that going. Um, Whatever, I guess. Nothing is working right. Give me just one sec. Sorry, guys, we're having serious technical issues. And
Play that shrimp video for them.
yeah, we'll play a shrimp video. Maybe we just leave it to this
Whoa.
and just stay here. And I don't know what to tell everyone. I'm sorry at home for all this mayhem. So, guys, I think what should we do? I think we're having some camera trouble. Maybe we try to wrap up. I think we put a plan in. I think maybe we'll. I don't even know why this isn't working. Nothing is working, and so I don't even know why anymore. I think. We could try. You want to try to do some water testing, or
Yeah, let's look at the EC and the pH.
okay? We can get back on that. We'll do that. I don't have a camera that connects, unfortunately. But yeah.
But we have this camera.
Yes. Okay. Yes. We'll just use this guy. So let's look at the tests. Yes. You want to do the EC and the pH?
Yeah. Oh, I can just bring it over.
Yeah.
We can. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna bring some over. I'll grab some sampling too. And yeah. Hello? Okay, I gotta go. All right.
Is it up again? Okay. Whoa. The duckweed makes it look like it's part of the green screen.
Really?
Yeah. Sarah says that we're back.
Yes. We're trying our hardest. I'm so sorry. There was some serious issues. And I don't know why, like the connectivity of our iPhone's not working anymore. But hey, we're gonna do this.
So while we were testing it earlier, the pH was like.
Maybe I'll just turn green screen
Neutral.
off too. Let's just do.
There
we go. Okay.
So we're just gonna let it stabilize for a few seconds. But it's pretty much neutral.
No more green screen. Not that what's behind it is prettier, but hey.
It looks more scientific.
Yeah. Ooh, did you know you could do that?
Just toss it up.
Yep. All right, so getting real bare bones here.
So like 7.4.
Oh, let me grab the Cletus one. The other one.
Oh yeah.
I gotta stop calling it the Cletus. We named the first. Maybe we'll get. You want to tell them the backstory of that?
Yeah. So we named the blue crayfish Cletus, and then it kept cloning itself. So they're all Cletus.
There's a fleet of them. All right.
The fleetus of Cletus.
And this is Cletus water. Let me move the monitor back. A little broader. Is that good, or is this good the way it is, you think? Don't mess with it.
I think it's good the way it is, just so that we can see the numbers on it. But All right, so it's stabilizing right about 7.68. That's pretty much neutral, not too acidic, not too basic. Um, let's look at ppms, which is the electric conductivity or parts per million, usually for total dissolved solids, or not dissolved solids.
So what was the pH?
pH was 7.68.
7.68. Oop, I don't know what I just did. And TDS?
It is 161 parts per million.
61. All right, so I'm going to put this up here and make it look. What are you looking for, bud?
I was gonna rinse it off in a little bit of clean water.
Okay.
Aha, perfect. We use that jar and some
Yeah. Here, want a little,
little cup.
what's that? One for you. One for me.
Hello. Okay, we're up again now. Oh, no worries. Bye. So I was just rinsing that off.
Oh, nice. Okay, so we got that old one.
Mandy's tuning back in.
Yeah, Mandy. I'm going to move this here.
So now this is the dirtier water. Whoa. $237 parts per million.
Okay, wait 1 sec. Let me get that. Okay. Okay. And then what is... So what's the... Oh, gosh. This is all messed up. What was the new one? The dirty tank? The prolific tank.
Prolific
Breeding tank.
Cletus tank
pH?
is 7.59.
Okay. TDS?
Is 230.
230. So to be honest, like, that isn't, like... Breeding tank... They're almost the same, relatively speaking, right? Like, that is not a big shift from one to the next. And okay, so it's wild because as dirty as that tank looks, it shocks me that the TDS for a tank that looks absolutely filthy, the TDS is 230. Now to show you how dirty, how like, let me put that in perspective. I'll be right back. JT, I want you to do a dance and keep the crowd entertained.
Doing a dance. So what we're gonna do is tell Matt that I did a dance and say that it was like the best dance that you've ever seen. There's no music, and I don't really dance, so we're gonna pretend that I did. I'll start to like look like I was doing a move right as he's returning, but everyone make comments about how amazing my dance moves are, please.
do some Braintree tap water.
Oh, yep.
Woo!
He's back. I just finished my dance. Thanks, everyone.
You're welcome. You're welcome, everyone.
And then.
All right, so this is Braintree tap water. Braintree is the town outside of Massachusetts, outside of Boston that we are in. And so let's get. You're getting some love. Great dance, JT. Braintree tap. pH.
Whoa, I almost spilled it.
Okay.
Um,
Just measuring some Braintree tap.
pH is, wow.
What's the pH?
Still climbing.
When he says wow to tap water, you know.
You know, all the people online that say that you need basic alkaline water to be healthy should drink Braintree water. It's almost
8.5.
yeah, still going up.
Yeah.
3.
Look, you're getting some love. Thanks, Sarah.
Oh yeah, my dance moves were very.
Poor JT. Why does he agree to do this every week with me? What are we seeing?
pH is 8.5.
Okay, so the pH, 8.5.
8.52.
8.5. And the TDS,
235.
TDS is 235. Okay, so just to put in perspective, right? The water from that water has a lower TDS than the tap water. And I have measured Braintree tap, by the way, in the past, and it has been higher than that. It has been 300 and change.
Yeah, they got a lot of. It's hard, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of calcium in it.
Heavy metals.
Probably heavy metals. I got notice about Quincy having lead in the tap water.
Nice.
And I bet I was drinking it for 30 years.
So it does make okay. So at the end of what we figured out, right? Like the water quality and the one that's really prolific versus the one where they're slowly dying off. It seems like the parameters are quite similar in a lot of ways. We'll check the nitrates. My hunch is they're both pretty low. We see ammonia right now.
Yeah, ammonia.
I might have some strips too that we could run.
Oh, yeah, those would be quicker.
But they might be old, so I'm not sure how. Okay, let's see. Easy strips. Ammonia. Boom.
Thank you.
And
Okay, so it says to dip it, swish it around, and for 10 seconds, then read immediately. So. It is reading 0. It's kind of washed out. It's reading 0 for the shrimp tank. And let's do fetus tank. Closing the lid so I don't get any water in it by accident.
I'm going to test these test strips out. I question they might be a little old though. I don't know if they're still active. They're still very effective. It seems like it's bad that the colors are already changed on this.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, Braintree tap. Let's try it though. This tests pretty much everything under the sun. Okay. So if you've never used one of these, right, you get a strip. Oh, let's try to line this up. And so you dip it in, covered in duckweed, and then you match it up to see what color it looks like. Sorry, this is hard to do backwards. So this is upside down, actually. I apologize. So first step is to figure out which way to read. So let's take a peek. So according to this, the water, the alkalinity. Okay, so sorry, I'm trying to do this right so you guys can see it. See the alkalinity, low, match it to that. pH says it's around 7. Hardness, low. So all these looking pretty good. Carbonate's low. Lead. Low.
Oh,
Wait, no. Oh.
lead's my
Check out the
favorite.
lead. Looks not quite
Which one's that?
the orange.
Oh.
That guy. And chromium? Not nothing. Could there be some heavy metals in the water?
Probably.
So I'm wondering whether there are some heavy metals that aren't being filtered. So I mentioned earlier our RO system was starting to fail, and maybe it wasn't chlorine and chloramine that was the issue. It was actually heavy metals making it through. Let's test the tap water. Do we want to test the tap water? Is this the tap?
This is the tap water.
This is the tap water. We're going to test the tap water. Let's find out what is in. For drinking water, I don't know what the legal TDS for drinking water is, but I'll tell you, I feel lucky. I'm in Marshfield, and we have awesome drinking water, and it's around 60 to 100. What do you think? It depends on what's in it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a specific total dissolved solids that's illegal because it's not measuring a specific contaminant.
So that's one thing to consider, right? Like calcium, for instance, right? Like it's not nearly as conductive. So when you look at your TDS, it's actually measuring like how much electricity is being carried through, and it's estimating what the dissolved solids are. So something like iron, small amounts of iron are going to really jack up that number, or heavy metals too, right? They're probably very conductive. Versus calcium, less conductive.
Yeah.
So small amounts of bad things really can have an impact. Whereas you'll notice like really mucky pond water will have really low TDS, which is surprising.
Because it's not dissolved, right?
Yep.
It's just solids.
Okay. I mean, this looks good. Chromium. Okay. So the Braintree water definitely showing some alkalinity. Here, let me show you guys what I'm seeing here. Is this showing up all right? I don't think it's really oh, there we go. I got
It's the white balance is like.
the white balance is way hard to read. Sorry, guys. I don't think you can see this. We'll work on our cameras and a million technical things. But long story short, I'll read it for you. And let's see. So it's saying pretty much everything is fairly low. There's some fluoride. Low in mercury, copper, lead. Some chromium, according to this. And you can see this is pretty purple, so it's the hardness is high, right? And that makes sense, right? So this is good. This implies actually that Braintree tap water is pretty safe, right? So it seems like there's hardness, meaning calcium. Hardness is a measure of how much calcium is in the water. So it's good to see that the calcium levels are high and it's not the mercury levels.
Is it KH or hardness?
Hardness. Oh, dude, tell me KH versus hardness.
KH is.
This is confusing.
Carbonate hardness, so it's kind of buffering capacity based on how much carbonate, so like sodium bicarbonate is baking soda, but
Yep.
if you mix it with vinegar, you get carbon dioxide out.
Yep.
So basically, a specific kind of alkalinity or like.
But calcium is the other version, so it's.
I believe so. Let's pull it. Let's pull this up.
JT, I'm gonna give you a hard time. You usually explain everything really well, but I think I stumped him. All right, so. Oh, wait, we forgot to do something. We haven't even used this today. So oh God, look, nothing is working right. Do you see this? Look what fact check just did. Nothing is
Oh,
correct.
it didn't make the sound?
It did nothing.
Okay, so GH is the other, general hardness. GH measures the concentration of minerals like calcium and magnesium in the water. KH is carbonate hardness, which is the buffering capacity.
Okay.
So it's the resistance to change in pH, basically.
I'm going to pull this back just so we can see what's going on our table. I think that.
Oh yeah. Look at all these chemistry.
Look at this mess we're making.
This is science.
Okay, so all right, so it seems like the water's not an issue, right? Let's go back to this screen.
Oh, it made the noise for Commander.
It did?
Yep.
Yes, Commander. Thank you, bud.
Oh, do you have it muted on your speakers?
That's not working at all anymore. Oh, that's right. I don't know what I was doing. Why am I doing this? I forgot. We took the green screen away. It's been a long day, guys. I've had a really long couple. No excuse. I'm sorry. But anyways, okay. So to me, it seems like our water isn't the issue. Like all the water, the levels are low. We're not seeing high nitrates, nitrites, ammonia. Food. I will say again, right? Like I was feeding such excessive amounts of. Could you develop a system, right? Like I was dumping in like massive amounts of fish food. Could the biological system be so strong that it's keeping the nitrates low, or do the shrimp just not care about high nitrate levels? Because I thought I was putting enough food in, like I was pushing the limits to see what would happen.
But did they always eat all the food, or was there like a lot of leftovers?
Never leftovers, right? So I have these really high biologically active systems going.
Yeah, so they're eating everything, and I have a feeling that eventually they're going to want to eat more because the population's growing. So I think there's probably a plateau level of population that you can have in there, and based on how much food you put in.
Yeah. It's almost like I had to like throttle it slowly where I would add more and more food every day.
Yeah.
And then it was just like breaking down. And then if I kept doing that and staying consistent with that, they'd start breeding. But I don't know if a capacity would be hit where it couldn't break down anymore. I don't know. So plants. It's not like I was worried like maybe certain plants are the wrong, but it almost seems like plants aren't great. And I will say I saw like these Neocaridina breeding facilities, and it was just like these tanks that were totally empty, nothing in it, dirt bottoms, and there was like some algae buildup on the walls where the shrimp were clinging, and they seem to have scrubbed the fronts.
And all those videos, you have those algae wafers, like a pile of them in there. And right now, I think they're just eating whatever you toss in, and there's not much else to eat because all the algae, there's no like free floating algae, no free floating particulates.
All right. So increase food, increase light. What do we do to fix it? Right? Do we? It's not a predation thing. It might be a competition thing.
Might be
probably snails and bristlenose are competing with them on food sources. Yep. We don't think there's a disease. I haven't seen any dead ones. Everyone looks healthy. It just seems like we're not seeing like buried shrimp, which means
with eggs.
What's up, Sean? Sean's in the house. Good evening to you, my friend. Okay, so give me a conclusion. Tell me a conclusion.
I think we need to do something to either reduce competition, increase the amount of food, or both.
Okay.
if Cletus goes in there and rips up a bunch of the grass, that grass is going to break down into little bits of food. Cletus isn't going to be able to kill all the algae because he doesn't eat the algae. She doesn't eat the algae.
Okay, it is always a she. Cletus being the blue crawfish that has started as one and taken over multiple tanks and seems to have created the best home for the shrimp, funny enough. I literally was so worried. I didn't think, I thought those crawfish would have eaten the shrimp,
Yeah.
but not the case.
I wonder if they'll eat the snails. Are they omnivores or herbivores?
Oh, I bet they are eating the snails. You're right. I don't see.
There's
like
big
snails,
snail, yeah.
But there aren't a bunch of little snails. All right, so options. Ready? If we were gonna what to do with that tank, which looks great, right? It almost seems like we could introduce a crawfish, just destroy the habitat, allowing for more algae and muck to grow everywhere. We could feed supplemental algae wafers. We think basically there's a lack of food. Ultimately, what the issue is there's not enough food for them.
Right.
I worry about adding more food because I worry it'll just like the system can't handle much more. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, because there's so much, but that's just going to make the plants grow more too.
It will.
And the duckweed blocks the light from the water column, so there's no algae growing in the water column.
Yep.
So the plants that you do want are microalgae, basically. It's not something that's like a big plant. What salinity can the shrimp handle? Because I wonder if changing the salt level will make it less suitable for the duckweed or the snails, but keep it suitable for the shrimp.
It's funny. I thought about introducing salts and interest like that is interesting. So if we, my hunch is they won't like it.
Yeah.
Because I have noticed it does seem like they like their version of clean water.
Yeah.
Like, and seeing the videos of them in like mountain streams, there's probably very little sodium chloride at least. There's probably like minerals. Are there fish that would eat the duckweed or something that would eat the duckweed? I think so. The options are remove duckweed. Options are, should I write them up?
Yeah, let's write these up.
Okay, let's make them a comment. Options: remove duckweed, add algae wafers, add food, or introduce destructive
Godzilla
crawfish. Right? These are ultimately the choices we're talking about, right? I think, right?
Yeah, or maybe just something that eats their competition, but
so I was thinking, I was like, if the snails were out competing, right? I was gonna say, and I love pea puffers. Okay, they're these tiny. They're like literally a pea is an exaggeration for how big they are. They're these tiny little puffer fish. They're freshwater, and they totally crush snails. They might eat some shrimp, but I think more often than not, they're not going to eat the shrimp. They're just going to eat the snails.
Because the snails are slower and not swimming away.
But I still, do we think it's the snails alone?
Probably a combination. Less food and competition.
So I think we should get some pea puffers.
Yeah.
I'd totally just come to that conclusion because that's the one that let me see.
Or we can individually crush snails with our fingers and then leave them for the shrimp to eat. Their shells will improve the calcium.
It seems like a bad path for my life.
Just
killing snails to feed the shrimp. I never had a lot of ambition, but this seems low for even the bars I've set. Okay, yeah. Well, and plus you could hire pea puffers to do that.
Yeah. You just need a predator.
So I think
it's not a complete ecosystem.
I think that if we removed all the duckweed, introduced pea puffers.
And so this is sort of why ecosystems collapse when there's an invasive species. There's nothing either removing it from the ecosystem or keeping it under control. there's nothing that's eating that duckweed, so it's growing as much as it wants.
To the point where it's choking the tank out. It's literally become, the duckweed has become, it went from being something I was like, this is great. This is keeping dirt, like the nitrates from building up. But now I'm literally always worried about it choking out the fish tanks from an oxygen perspective.
So we need very small ducks that eat the duckweed.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
And something to eat the snails.
Okay, so pea puffers.
Pea puffers.
Okay, so you know what? I think all right. Let's talk to Mandy about this tomorrow. Maybe she'll have some intelligent thought around it. But my hunch is, I think if we remove the duckweed alone, I think that would play a big role. I'd still do worry about the snails, and I was thinking about like introducing something to eat the snails that wouldn't eat the shrimp, or at least not eat the shrimp as frequently.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about loaches are another great option. They tend to eat tons of snails.
Yeah,
they would eat the shrimp too, but again, shrimp are more mobile, so they're going to get away from predators quicker than the snails.
Yep.
So I think introducing something that's predatory is going to do more damage to the snails. I think so. The bristlenose and snail. I'm sorry. The duckweed and snails are the two biggest issues, we believe.
Yep.
So I think to get the duckweed out, I could probably just fish that out myself.
Yeah.
And then maybe
just
introduce some pea puffers or something else that would control the snail populations. I like pea puffers because they probably only be able to go after the little snails. So you'd have some big snails in there too. Sometimes loaches they'll destroy it.
They'll eat everything.
They'll eat everything in there.
I bet if you pull out the duckweed and just dry it out, grind it up and toss it back in, that's food for them.
Sick. I like that. All right, so that is our plan. That is the plan I suggest we should sleep on. If anyone has any other recommendations, anything else you guys we should talk about tonight?
Does anyone have questions about our plan? Probably kind of slow.
So. Sean asked actually about last week. We will follow up, but it looks like the grafting might have needed more humidity.
But the citrus?
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks a little shrivelly. I'm not positive though. You want me to? Should we bring it over? Well, unfortunately, Sean, I wish I could bring the camera over to show you this.
Do you want to bring the plants over here?
They're pretty. I would move. I don't want to move the plants. I would normally bring the camera over to you guys, but we'll follow up on that next week. Update. We'll do a video update. But they look a little. The humidity in here is only about 30%. So Sean was asking quickly before we sign off about the grafts from last Thursday. I don't think they succeeded. They're starting to look a little thin. The cactus looks awesome, right? I'm sorry. So the cactus graft looks awesome, but the citrus, which want a little bit higher humidity, it's only about 30% humidity in here. I think they're starting to dry. I don't think they look great. I don't think they're going to make it, but we'll try it again. The cacti, yes. Cactus, yes, Jeff.
If the leaves are still alive,
I think the cactus is going to do well.
We can add a moist paper towel and a Ziploc bag around it.
Okay.
And that can bring it back because it just needs if it's not dead already.
All right, let me bring one over. Whatever. I think it's not going to. 1 second. Not shriveled up dead, but I just don't want to bump it too much. Nice. Oh, I forgot the cactus over there. Okay. So you can kind of see it's not dead, but it's not what you want it to look like.
Yeah.
But the cactus, I like the way it looks. And I don't want to touch it because I'm going to kill it by accident.
It's pointy.
But you know what? I want to create I think if we had the humidity higher, it held on until a day ago it started looking like this shrivelly thing going on over here. It was doing all right, and I think it's just way too dry. The humidity is 30% in here, which is great for the cactus, not great for the citrus graft. So we'll have to try again, but grafting, not easy. So we appreciate you, Sean. So I think with that being said, sorry again for all the crazy technical difficulties tonight. I need a new computer at some point, but hey, someday
Build a new one.
we'll build one. That will work really well, I bet. So thank you guys, all of you. We appreciate you. Till next week.
Where's the fact check button?
Fact check. And on that note.